Okay, wanted to give you some advice about PhORCAS. If you don't know what PhORCAS is, it's basically the PharmCAS of residency, and there are a number of kind of bonehead things that you can do right off the bat. And I wanted to try to give you this advice quickly because it just opened yesterday, and already I'm seeing some of the just mistakes that you can make right away that you can't undo. And let me hopefully save you a lot of heartache. Okay. So if you want help with your letter of intent, I charge $75 for the residency season. That's my contact information, or you can go to residencyhelp.com where you can find letter of intent template, recommendation help, and then the podcast episodes that can help you with this as well. Okay, so let's first talk about when you look at the webinar that PhORCAS puts out, or you look at some of the advice that they give. What they are doing is giving you an operational order. What you don't want to do is take that operational order and turn it into a checklist for your own order. And the most important one is, number one, select 3 references. What they're saying is, within PhORCAS, after you've created an account, gotten your transcripts, ordered your transcripts, set in your application information, uploaded documents, then you select 3 references to send those emails to them, and then we get the email and then we write a reference for you. That's not saying wait until you've done everything except for that 3 references to do it, because you want to let your references know, hey, I just want to let you know I'm going to be applying for residency. Will you write a positive letter of recommendation for me? And you want to do that as soon as your APPE is over. You don't want to wait at all. So be careful. The PhORCAS order is not real life order. This is an operational thing, but you want to make sure you set up your references in a number of these documents ahead of time. Okay, so within the application, you'll have your applicant and personal information, educational information, and already I'm seeing, do I really have to retype everything from my CV? And I've heard 2 things. One, you can copy and paste your CV in there, but I'm not sure if it's going to work out in terms of formatting, depending on how you formatted your CV. But let me tell you how it works in real life. Those residents that are looking at your application are not looking at your CV first. They're looking at PhORCAS first. They're looking at this field first. If you don't put anything in the field, and oh my gosh, if you put CCV, they're going to go right past it because you are high maintenance and they are not going to deal with you. I can tell you that right now. They've got some programs have 60, 80 applications per spot. Do not put anything that says, I do things efficiently and I am not going to take the time to do this. It is such a mistake. Please, please, please fill out the extracurricular section. Do not push the button that says, I intentionally left this blank. Do not. Upload the personal statement and CV. My understanding is you cannot delete a document once you've put it up. So just like headings in Reddit, they are there in stone. So please, please, please do not upload a personal statement until you've had tons of people look at it. Same thing with your CV. Just because it opened up doesn't mean you have to get some of these things done right away. Make sure they are perfect before you put them up, because I believe you would have to do something like, hey, look at edition number 3.2.1 before you do that. Selecting references, I mentioned that. Make sure you get them ahead of time, let them know. And then official transcripts. I know when the deadline is, but the school may not be open, especially a pharmacy school that's just a pharmacy school. Maybe a school like a large university is going to have their registrars open over the winter, but you are really playing with fire if you don't ask for those official transcripts early. Make sure you do, but there are many, many, many ways to mess this up, and that is easily one of the easiest. Get those transcripts a lot earlier than later. And then make sure everything is site specific. Do not send generic letters. They immediately will know it. Every single letter should have The name of the person that you're sending it to should have the site and should have some details about that site. Okay, so how much does it cost? And when I looked it up, it looked like it was the same. I'm not sure, but you first have to know that PhORCAS and NMS are different. So the National Matching Service is a $150 flat fee, and that is some number that you'll get. Now, they're kind of seamless. They work together, but these are different. Second, I cannot emphasize this enough. The average person applies to 10 residencies. If you are applying to 4 residencies because you want to save money and you spent $300,000 on your education and now you're getting to the point where like, ooh, $43 extra, that's going to be too much. That is a silly risk. Absolutely. There are going to be 4,000 residencies available. There is no reason you can't find 10 to 12 that you can apply to, and it probably should be a little bit higher. You're saying that is a ton of work. Yeah, it is. And your competition is absolutely fierce this year. I'm telling you, you do not have a 1 in 2 chance. It is going to be either much lower or much higher based on certain factors, which I went over in another video, the odds of getting a residency. But basically, you absolutely want to apply to those 10 to 12, and you want to find those ones that are perfect for you. There's not going to be a perfect residency. That you have 3 that are perfect and the other ones aren't. If you really want to do a residency next year, you are going to get 10 to 12. So the average cost is around $400, but again, relative to what you paid for school, just don't. Letters of intent, make sure it is customized. Make sure you, at least in the beginning and end, have something that involves them, at least one paragraph that is saying, hey, this is why I'm applying to your site, because it's AmCare, or it's AmCare with pediatrics, or whatever it is. Okay. Make sure you answer any special questions. Make sure they're separate for each program, and make sure this is a fake name. Well, that's my name, but that's a fake hospital. Make a unique name for every single file, and please check it. Do not send, I really want to do this residency, to the wrong residency. That spells disaster. References. If you are not sure that the 3 will be on time, you can request up to 4, but you can request many, many more reference people. It just, for one site, I believe you can only request 4. So if you're in doubt that it's not going to be on time, you want to select 4 references and have that extra. Make sure you tell them why you're doing each site. Make the recommender easy. I put this in my letter of intent book, but make it clear to the pharmacy recommender, you know that this is why you're doing the site. Remind them of what you did during the APPE. They're not going to remember. You need to remind them. And then the reference can come in late, but the residency may or may not take it. So again, 4 is better than 3, I think. Here are the phase 1 dates. Your list, or your rank list, is due on March 1st, but that's after all the interviews and all that madness. And then March 15th is when the results are released. Why do you have to get on your horse? Last year, they say it was 64%, 2 out of 3, but it's really closer to 50%, where 7,105 enrolled, and of those, 3822 got one. But I am projecting this year that there's going to be over 8,000 that are enrolling, and I made another video on why I said there's 8,000 enrolling in the match, and I think that 4,000 of those that enroll will not get one. So get on it. Make sure you avoid those easy to avoid mistakes with PhORCAS, and make sure you're working with somebody that did it last year or some other people that are doing it to minimize the mistakes you make, because they are just absolutely looking right now to reduce that pile of many, many residency applicants to just a few, so that they can have it just a little bit easier, because it's going to be one of the most competitive seasons ever.